Welcome back, everybody. From Main Street to Wall Street, everyone is watching the reopening of the American economy. And in an effort to try and jumpstart things, the White House is considering a number of stimulus measures, including a payroll tax cut. Joining us right now to talk about that and much more is Bill Daley. He's Wells Fargo's vice chairman, and he is also a former White House chief of staff and U.S. Commerce secretary. And Bill, it's great to see you today.
Nice seeing you, Becky. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk through things both on the national level and at the bank level. Maybe we start just with Wells Fargo, because I think what you all have been seeing is a very good reflection of what's really happening out there. I think you all have about 7% of the small businesses in the entire country that you do business with. And I just wonder if you can kind of give us a feeling for how things are going with that, how businesses are doing, and how the bank is doing in terms of being able to get help to them.
Well, we have been able to give our customers a tremendous amount of help, probably around $4 or $5 billion of accommodation so far to a couple of million of our customers. But this is obviously extremely difficult time in a very short period. When you look at where we were the end of February, even though there was the concern around COVID, our economy was still doing quite well. And in a period that we've never seen this sort of thing, a collapse in many ways of many sectors that are vital to keeping us and the nation we've been. So this is tough for our customers. We're doing everything we can to accommodate them, whether it's the PPP program, whether it's accommodations on our own. So we're all working together. And I think this is obviously unprecedented times. And where this goes, how it goes over the next number of months is unknown. But we're trying the best we can to try to accommodate our customers, which are customers and employees are the two most important things to us right now.
Yeah, Bill, let's talk a little bit about that. Nobody knows exactly where this thing is going, but as a bank, you all have to be looking at this and trying to figure out how many of the customers that you serve are still going to be going concerns at the other end of this. What type of long-term potential do you think this has at this point? And obviously things could go in different directions, but is there a range that you all are looking at thinking, okay, if things don't open up by here, then X number of customers are going to be really pressed to be able to come back?
We aren't at that point yet. We are still predicted in this quarter we shall see a rise from last quarter and also a rise in the fourth quarter. So we think there's going to be progress from the collapse of the second quarter, but it remains to be seen. We are all trying to figure out not just when we go back, how we go back. There may be some opportunities for some businesses in that as we all try to prepare for how we go back. We're doing that right now we have over 200,000 employees working from home. We never envisioned such a thing, nor did many other companies. So how we bring them back and service our customers at the same time is a big challenge for us. We are not going to be rushed either by some political drumbeat or other things. It's going to be about the safety of our employees and our customers. And right now, we're obviously servicing our customers. And that's the most important thing we can do right now to keep the economy moving and to be there for them.
You said you're not going to be rushed back by a political drumbeat that's moving.
Right.
So what authorities do you all listen to? Who are the experts that you're consulting with to try and figure out when's the right time to come back?
We're talking to the health officials throughout the country and local areas. Obviously, there are some parts of the country that are not affected anywhere near what other parts of the country are. So we're going to have to make judgments. But the most important thing will be how we go back. And it will take time to reconfigure our offices, reconfigure some of our places of business. And as I said, we never envisioned 2 months ago that we'd have over 200,000 employees working from home of the 270,000 people that we have now. Many of our employees have to go into the branches, have to go into certain offices. But I think this will be a gradual comeback. And what we all want to do is do it the right way, which is each company is going to have to make that judgment around how they bring their employees back and at the same time how they're servicing their customers. A big challenge. And I don't think our attitude, I know Charlie Sharp's attitude is we'll make the decisions for our employees and our customers and will not be pushed back into some rush either by the political system and the winds of the day. The medical experts will have to give us confidence and know that the procedures we put in place are the right ones, even though we're all in uncharted waters, the right ones to keep our employees safe and then our customers.
Hey, Bill, you've served as chief of staff in the White House. There are all kinds of different discussions that are taking place right now to try and figure out what comes next, whether there are additional funds that will be sent to small businesses, whether there are additional funds that will make their way to the states or local municipalities, and whether there should be a payroll tax cut. What do you think of any of these plans?
Look, I think there needs to, I don't think there'll be another small business relief, like a third version of PPP. I think you're going to see the Democrats put together a very aggressive piece of legislation around sort of the debate you and Andrew had early this morning. Do you try to get more relief in a direct way to certain people? And I think you're going to see a big push by Democrats for that. I think you're going to see this a pause by many Republicans, or a desire to have a pause by Republicans, and see what impact the relief that has been given. And you've got to give credit to the congressional leadership and the members for the amount of action they took in such a relatively short period in March. It really was unprecedented to see Congress come together, put together a couple of $1 trillion package to try to help bolster our economy and bring relief to the healthcare system, which we feared greatly would be stretched. And in parts of the country, it is being stretched enormously.
You're a Democrat. What do you think the right answer is? Should there be more money that goes directly to consumers? Should there be a universal basic income that comes down?
I'm not there for a universal basic income yet. I believe we've got to bring more relief. I think right now the immediate problem is our states and local governments are really stretched because of this crisis and not using that to try to solve their long-term problems, but to try to really address the enormous costs that are going on and the depletion of their revenue. If you have any taxes, any revenue that's based upon sales tax or other taxes, that's gone right now. And I think it's going to be very slow to come back. And so the enormity of the cost on our public systems are really have got to be addressed by Congress in a relatively short period, in my opinion. Or it just compounds and gets
worse and worse. You're a Democrat, but you also understand how the banks. Oh, sorry. You're a Democrat. You understand how the banks works. You've been a chief of staff and tried to figure out how policy can address these things. We saw a huge backlash after 2008, 2009. It was a backlash against the Fed, against the government for taking the side of wealthy people and creating advantages to people who had money and leaving others behind. That's why there's still such a rift in this country. The moves that the Fed has taken, I would argue, have been moves that were very important to stabilize the markets. But I think there's going to be an even bigger backlash that comes from this. What do you do?
Well,
how do you prevent that backlash? How do you deal with it?
Well, the backlash is really based upon the inequity that's risen in our society over the last 30 years, really. It's not over the last 8 weeks, obviously. That's the heart of it. 2008 stretched it because it was a financial crisis caused by the financial system. This is not. This is a pandemic. I think it is very different. I think that's why companies like ours and so many others are out there trying to be there for their customers, for their employees, with a very different attitude than I think they had, or at least were postured as having in 2008. And that was sort of, you've got to help us. Now we are aggressively out there trying to be helpful. You know, we've done 150,000 of our customers have gotten PPP loans. 80% of them have less than 10 employees. We're not taking fees for that program. That's taxpayers' money. We're going to work with those customers to turn them from loans to grants. That will help bolster that for us, 150 or 150,000 or more customers throughout the country, all 50 states and Puerto Rico, we have had guarantees for. So I think the business is stepping up in a very different way than they were viewed, and Wall Street is, and the big banks and the regional banks and the small banks. Look at the number of small banks who got into the PPP program in the first go round for their customers. So I don't think that sort of rub is going to be there that we're bailing out Main Street, and then Main Street's not helping the little guy. I think that's different. Now, I think you're going to see a Democratic plan that probably does some sort of direct more payments than just what was done with the stimulus checks. There's a move afoot to try to have some sort of basic income for certain people. Whether that's a good or bad idea, I watched the two of you debate that this morning, and when I woke up, I knew the world was upside down when I saw Joe sitting in between the two of you. Couldn't believe it.
It is a complicated debate, very nuanced debate.
Yes.
Bill, we appreciate your voice on this, and we'd love to have you back again to talk more about it.
We will. Thanks, Becky. Have a good day. Stay healthy.